Oh my days. The day is nearly upon us where we need to go to the Etihad. Well, what can you say about this game other than how I would put it out there to you guys listening? How are we going to win this game? I was thinking about this today on the way to work, at work, in the gym, because a game of this magnitude is always on your mind, you know? It's a weird feeling because obviously you look forward to these games more than any, especially when it's like almost a title decider, like a final in of itself. Yet, at the same time, which one of us is truly looking forward to it? I mean, we're all nervous as fuck, right? We're all worried what the score could be. This is one of those situations. We could get smacked up, and I'm just not just being pessimistic for the sake of it. I'm not just trying to be negative or whatever word you want to use. In what way are we going to get a result against Man City? And the way I thought about it is that the only thing I can see is the only chance that we have is if Man City get a red card. I know that sounds stupid. What can we really do to make that happen? That's not something we can really tactically induce, tactically create, unless perhaps you play Max Damon, you give him the ball as much as possible, you give him freedom, which we didn't see him get really much of against Sporting. It seems like maybe already Arteta is getting into him with the playing style, just like he did with Ethan, just like he did with Emil Smith Rowe, gets into them, strips them of their creativity, and they become 50% of the player they could be, or that they truly are, really. He essentially robs them of their true identities as players. But get down one on the ball, maybe get a penalty, maybe get a horrible tackle, maybe get a couple of yellow cards because he's so tricky, people keep tripping him up, people keep tackling him. Other than that, in what way do we win this game? We're coming up against a Man City team who are bang in form and we're bang out of form. We are in our worst form with our worst set of injuries, going to our worst away ground, traditionally worst time of the season, in a high pressure moment, which is our worst situation of the season, the situation we cope with the least, the high pressure moments. On the other hand, Man City are coming into their best form of the season because of Pep's rotation system. They got lots of fresh players. Cherki's coming into form. David Silva's been on, but Bernardo Silva's been on form. I expect those two to run the game. I expect to see Silva running the game with Cherki. Haaland's coming back into form. Nick O'Reilly's on form. We know that too well. In what world do we get a result here? In what world do we get a draw, let alone a win? And you could say, oh, well, you just got to back the team. Of course I back the team. Once we go over the white line, of course I support the team, I back the team, and of course I want the team to win. The questions that get put to us about whether we truly support the team or we truly support the club, do we really want them to win? Yes, we want them to fucking win. But we're also realists in our community. And how are we going to do it? Like, practically, how are we going to do it? Hopium isn't enough. I look at it tactically, I look at it man for man, I look at it manager v manager, I look at the whole situation with them being at home. We've never beaten them since 2014. Santi Cazorla was in the team the last time we beat Man City at Etihad, scoring goals. I just can't see how we do it. We haven't got a striker who's on form. We haven't got any forwards who are on form. Martinelli was just statistically deduced as the worst Arsenal player at the moment so far this season. If he starts, that's great. We got our technically worst player so far this season starting. And he probably will, because Trossard, I believe, is carrying a knock. Although that doesn't really mean he's not going to start, obviously, knowing this manager. We've just lost the Carabao Cup to them. They got the blueprint to players. In what way do we win this game? Other than by some absolute fluky miracle, and the only thing I can see is a red card. The only way I can see us doing it is a red card, and even then, I only think that's going to result in a draw. We need to win this title. I was going to do a separate video on this and I may still do it, but I'll mention it here anyway for people who don't know. If Man City win the treble this season, they will overtake Arsenal for major honours won and go into third place as third most decorated club in England. This is a record that has been held by Arsenal, the third place, for over a century now. It is a record that I have been proud of, even though it's not first, obviously, but we're up against two massive national juggernauts in Man United and Liverpool. I've always been proud of the fact that we're a top 3 club. I've always been proud of the fact that we can say that with chest. We used to be so far ahead of City. How has this club let Man City, who in 2008 were getting beaten by 8 goals against Middlesbrough in the second division, how has that team come inside of 20 years, not even 20 years, how has that team come right up behind us and to be poised now to overtake us? How have we let them go unchallenged that long? And how have we been so poor ourselves for that long to allow them to catch us up and to now potentially overtake us this season? And even if they don't, let's say they take the title this season, they don't win the FA Cup. They'll still be one trophy away from doing it next season. You don't think they're going to do it next season? Sad. And that's the point, actually. It's sad. More than infuriating. I went straight to sadness with it because it's something I've held dearly my whole life. And it looks like it's going to slip away. And I'm going to have to recalibrate my psyche almost. Arsenal won't be a top 3 club again unless we pull this title out the bag and keep them at arm's length. That's what we need to do on Sunday. Or at least, go a bit further towards doing. Even if we do get some miraculous win, you still query whether we can pull it off over the next few games, given everything that's going on with our injuries, within everything that's going on with the pressure moments in the past. However, if we did win, maybe it would get that monkey off our back a little bit. Don't hold your breath for either of those things to happen. So for me, I'm not sure what the team news is. I saw Arteta's press conference. That's a lie. I didn't see it. I can't watch them. They're infuriating. They are infuriating. They're not sad. They are infuriating. Just pure anger whenever I see him talk so smugly and arrogantly. The culture he's created at the club. The worry that if he stays much longer, it's going to be worse and worse. So, I guess obviously Saka won't play. I guess Rice will play injured. Not sure what's going to happen at right back, but I guess it's going to be Mosquera. Doku's going to be up against Mosquera, and whilst I don't massively rate Doku, that's a problem. I think Doku had a good game against him at the Emirates. I'm sure he played him at the Emirates earlier on in this season. Correct me if I'm wrong. The writing's on the wall. Wherever you look all over the park, they're superior, they're fresher, they're more confident, and we're probably going to have a stadium full of fans, proper up for it, waving bottles around. Mark my words, that whole stadium is going to be full of people with bowls. What an environment that is going to be, and how are our players going to respond to that? How is our manager going to respond to that? We shall soon see. However, as for a prediction, I can't, it's so difficult making this prediction because I want to predict us to win, but I can't be delusional and I have to tell the truth. So I'm going for a 3-1 to Man City, and that's being very generous to us, giving us the 1. Because honestly, if you ask me where that 1 is coming from, I don't really know. You see our performance against Sporting. That's another thing to add into the context, the disjointed nature of that, giving the ball away so much. Play like that at the Etihad, we could hold 4 or 5. It could be genuinely embarrassing. This is why I'm so trepidatious about this game. Looking forward to it because it's a big game. It's exciting. It's the moments we live for, right? It's the games we live for. It's the games the players should live for. But Jesus Christ, the writing is on the wall. So yeah, that's my prediction, 3-1. I hope I'm wrong. If we can get a draw, the best we can hope for is a draw somehow. But with our fitness levels and their high fitness levels, much superior fitness levels, and superiority all over the park, and experience and capability, high competence in high pressure situations, and our high incompetence in high pressure situations, a scoreline like that, or worse, is unfortunately all that I can say, all I can see. As I say, I hope I'm wrong. We shall soon see. Let me know what you think.